Hello and welcome to a new episode. In this episode I'll tell you why and how I bought the house in France, and while I'm telling you I'll showing you the images of Simon and myself cleaning up a couple of rooms in the house, breaking some stuff up, and just trying to make it a bit more comfortable. The story all starts about a year and a half ago. I had just quit my job as a mortgage advisor and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I hadn't always been that lost. On the contrary, I had always been doing what I thought would enable me to live the middle class dream. I finished my studies as soon as I could and I started to work full time right afterwards to save up as much as possible to first pay off my student debt and eventually be able to make a down payment on a very middle class attached or semi-detached house near my job, friends and family. However, I discovered that this middle-class dream of mine was an illusion. Working as a mortgage advisor, I was able to save up to pay off my student debt quickly. However, saving up to be able to make a down payment on a house afterwards was never going to work out. While I was saving up 1,200 euros a month, housing prices were rising by 4,000 euros a month. At some point, this image of middle-class life that I had been idolizing shattered into pieces. It seemed to me that the only way in which it would still be attainable was to keep working a full-time job that I didn't really like, get a partner who was willing to do the same, and take on a cripplingly large mortgage to buy a horribly overpriced house to live a boring and unfree life in. Given the fact that it was peak COVID at the time, it seemed like a very dull perspective for the rest of my life. So I ditched my job, and with it, the plan I had for the rest of my life. I went traveling for a month, and when I got back, I considered buying a boat to live on, sailing to a different place every few days or weeks. I also considered moving to a completely different city. But then, I remembered that I had been looking at cheap abandoned houses in France online a while before. It turned out that by not yet paying off my student debt, as I had been planning to do, I would have enough to buy myself a lovely historic farmhouse in a calm village, just 6.5 hours from where I was living. I had always had an endless fascination for old things, so this seemed like an amazing opportunity. It also felt like an acceptable substitute for my former life plan, because all of my time, money and energy would get sucked up by this project. For some reason that I still don't quite understand, pitching this ridiculous idea to my friends and family didn't bring me any arguments not to go through with it. So in December of 2021, I found myself accompanied by 4 friends visiting a house that was listed for sale on the French version of eBay. The listing contained very little information and the 3 photos that it was accompanied by showed even fewer. However, it was the only house that I had managed to get an appointment for, because all of the real estate agents that I had tried to contact didn't reply my emails and phone calls. Initially, I only wanted to visit the house to get a sense of the enormous amount of work I'd be getting myself into. And boy, did it show a lot of work. Strangely though, I wasn't deterred by it. On the other hand, I really liked the house, because of its impressive size and its lovely location on top of a hill. So, after I had returned home, I emailed the family that sold the house a couple of questions to which I didn't fully understand the answers. We started negotiating nonetheless. It was listed for sale at 18,000 euros. I made a bid for 12,000 and we ended up agreeing on 13,000 euros. A month or 2 later, a notary sent me the purchase contract, which stated that the house contained no dry rot and would be delivered without any movable goods. Needless to say, none of those conditions were met. But I became a very happy homeowner anyway. And I even think I got a good deal on this house. I'll tell you more about why later. Next thing I'm gonna do is try to figure out the plumbing. So stay tuned for a new video.